All right, what's up, brothers? Today we're gonna have the 11.4 patch notes for ADC mains. If you're not an ADC main, you can still watch this video, maybe get a kick out of it, but I'm gonna be focusing on how these changes will affect people who play ADCs, primarily like marksmen in the bot lane. If you play Swain and Talia and stuff, obviously, like some of it will apply to you. But anyway, let's get into it. So already looking at this image, I'm throwing a fit because I see Katarina getting buffed and Fiora getting buffed. And I'm scared. Why is Katarina getting a buff? Wait, hold on. You're telling me this champ's getting buffed? Is this a joke? Okay, it can't be that big of a buff. It can't be that big of a buff. We'll see. We'll see when we get to it. Dude, that's insane. And thank God they're nerfing Camille and Kaiser. Okay, Mumu, base HP increase, E base damage increase later. All right, basically, especially if you're in lower elo, Mumu's gonna be a little bit stronger in higher elo. I don't see this changing. But if you want to counter a Mumu, just play anti-tank champions like Vayne and stuff. Braum, our cooldown decreased. This isn't a very big buff for Braum. Braum's ult was already on a long cooldown. I don't think this is gonna do much for him. If you want to play with Braum, try to play people in the back line that he can protect that also work with his passive. Lucian also is really good with him because of light slinger, but that's besides the point. Caitlyn, base damage growth and attack speed growth increased. All right, honestly, there have been times where Caitlyn gets a little bit like of a nudge and then she just becomes really, really good because the champion just becomes oppressive. I think this might be one of those. I think Caitlyn actually wasn't that bad before this. I think Kate's main issue is the fact that she doesn't really have like any fantastic mythic item choices. I see Gale Force being the one that's picked the most, but honestly, I think that's so meh on Caitlyn, you know? I definitely expect to see more Caitlyn. I could see her, like, she's in the C tier for this. I would personally put her in the B tier, but I can honestly see Caitlyn getting pretty good, honestly. These buffs are nice, and then a lot of the champs before that might give her problems are getting nerfed, so Caitlyn actually might be played a lot. This isn't base stat increases, so it won't affect lane phase too much, but it's just going to help her transition into the mid game better, which is probably Caitlyn's biggest issue. Camille, W cooldown increase. My bad. Really? So, out of all the... Okay, hold up. We're flaming. All right, so you're telling me out of all of her abilities, especially her passive and E, and then I guess there's a bunch of stuff on her Q, but I personally just hate her passive and E. But anyway, you're telling me that you think W being 15-second cooldown level 1 where she normally keeps it, you think that's the issue? Like she doesn't use it when she E's in already? You're gonna see Camille the same amount you already saw her. This is literally a slap on the wrist if it's even that. This isn't even a slap on the wrist. It's like when your mom grabs you at the supermarket, but she's not mad at you. She just wants your attention. She just grabs your wrist. That's literally what this is. This is not a slap on the wrist. This is the most baby shit nerf I've ever seen. This might as well not even be in the patch notes. And this is coming from someone who plays Camille, by the way. Champ's way too strong right now. If I was to nerf Camille, I would do something about her E or passive or her Q. Sure as shit, not her W, but okay. I'm not the one leading the balance team, I guess. Fiora, passive mark damage increased. Honestly, I'm fine with that. It's just the regular passives. I know Fiora's been struggling. I haven't been seeing her as much as I normally have. Yeah, yeah, Fiora might not be in the best spot right now. Yeah, this is a welcome addition, but be scared of Fiora. You're probably going to see her a little bit more. I don't think this is the most insane buff at all. It's just like a little bit of a nudge. They're going to be careful with Fiora buffing her until they get to Worlds, and then once Worlds comes around, they're going to be like, okay, guys, buff Fiora, and then she's going to be broken. But right now, she's probably going to be just fine. Jinx, base health increase. All right, so they're just reverting the change they made last patch. Basically, they lowered her base health last patch. It made it so that you could buy coal more, but I guess people were dying and her win rate actually got lower because it was easier to abuse Jinx. It's the same idea why Twitch's base health is really high. Same with Jinx. It's because they're literally like some of the best late game champions, and then they have no mobility. So if they get caught in lane, they just die. So they want their base health to be high. But then because of that, they can't buy coal, which is exactly what these champions would want to buy. I don't know. I don't think this really impacts Jinx all that much, to be honest with you. I wouldn't expect to see her any more or any less than you were last patch. She might just be a little bit tankier than normal. It's like 1 or 2 auto attacks early game. All right, here we go. Kaiser, Q base damage per missile, maximum single target damage, and maximum evolved single target damage decrease. And then this is unevolved max, I think. Yeah, so unevolved max isn't really the issue. I mean, yeah, this is fine. Honestly, this isn't that bad. She's still gonna blow you up And then she's still going to be really good. Honestly, I don't know if she's going to be the best ADC, but she's going to be really good still. If you're banning Kaiser right now, I would say give it maybe 1 or 2 games to see. If you want, honestly, I think you could still get away with banning Kaiser. I think this champ is actually still going to be a menace, but she might be at the top of the ADCs still. The problem with Kaiser is she has, like, I think she has the highest pick rate, and she still has one of the highest win rates, and she's supposed to be a difficult champion. That shit should never be happening. That's how you know Kaiser isn't actually hard to play. If she was being played that much by people who are just like, oh, I got autofilled ADC, let me just lock in Kaiser. She has that high of a win rate. Even with those people, yeah, no, this champ's broken for sure. I don't think this is going to be enough to take her down. She's still going to be strong, really strong probably, but I don't know if she's going to be the top ADC. But then who would take her place? Jhin, maybe? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna rage if this is a lot. Our on-hit damage ratio now scales. Damage per knife increased. Level she has in her ult, the better it gets, I guess. Does this scale with her? Okay, this scales with her bonus AD and total attack speed. Basically, it's still a pretty okay buff. It's not like huge, right? Yeah, this isn't anything to baby rage about, but I'm really confused why they're buffing Katarina. Like I might have showed it earlier. I think I did. What the hell is this? I mean, really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you would ever buff this champion. And I still see the on-hit build more than I see like proto belt build, which is weird because it's like the most built for like everyone else, but for some reason I'm only seeing that. I would prefer they didn't buff Katarina, to be honest with you, but it is what it is, I guess. She's still really strong. Expect to see the same amount of Katarina. I'm pretty sure only one Trix play this champ, but yeah, she's gonna be strong with attack speed and stuff. Okay, Urgot, W on-hit damage effectiveness increased. Meh. Oh, and by the way, to beat Fiora and Camille, you just want to play champs with like mobility spells. To beat Katarina, like stuff like Vayne is really good because you can dem her. And then don't pick Xayah into Kata. Kata's one of the only like assassins that's actually like okay into Xayah, so I would not be picking Xayah into that. Literally, just keep picking Kaiser probably, honestly. And then for Urgot, he struggles to get in, and once you outrange him, it's really good. And then especially if you have an on-hit build like a Bork Ashe or Bork Vayne, it's really nice. You just kill him. It's not that big of a deal. This buff doesn't really mean much. Lee Sin Q cooldown decreased. This is a welcome change. I want to see more Lee Sin. I haven't been seeing him that much, and I really like the champion, so this is cool. He's going to be clearing very slightly faster, and then late game he's going to have his Q up more. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. When playing against Lee, just make sure you don't get kicked and don't try to die to his early pressure. Q non-champion base healing decrease later. Enhanced non-champion base healing decrease later. So they're making him heal less? I mean, yeah, this is cool. I mean, Renekton's really strong early game. Just be careful with that. You could probably actually fight him in minion waves now, top lane, so that's cool, right? But no, I think Renekton was pretty strong. He's probably going to get played a little bit less because I think most Renekton players aren't one tricks, so yeah, it should be fine. Tamira, holy crap. Okay, passive bonus damage ratio decrease early and now scales. Q damage ratio decrease early and now scales. W duration decreased. E target adjusting and dash speed decreased. Okay, let's take this one at a time here. So bonus damage ratio would be her sword. So her sword doesn't do as much damage, but it scales the more levels she get. And it's the same with her Q, it seems. Yeah, blade roll duration's down. That's not that big of a deal. That actually might help in some situations. Samira no longer dashes through allies. Wow. Samira can now dash through enemy towers, but will target champions over tower. Okay. And her dash speed's down. That's like, this speed's lower than Lucian dash. Now imagine Samira dashing on top of you, but it's slower than Lucian dash. I mean, it's like an in-between of the speed of like Caitlyn E and Lucian dash. It's not too big of a deal, but it's still worth noting. Her cooldown on ulti went from 3 seconds to 8 seconds. Okay, so basically what they're doing here, the main issue with these first two, the reason why this kind of sucks is because Samira is on a timer, and I learned that the hard way in too many cases. That champion does not scale well at all. She doesn't. Compared to other ADCs, she does not scale. You would rather have your damage front loaded in your kit than back loaded with like all this stuff. So this is a huge nerf. This is bad. And then blade roll duration, honestly, this isn't even much worth talking about. The only time you would really like count on Blade Roll being a second long was in team fights blocking like MF ult and stuff. But honestly, I think 0.25 seconds off it isn't that big of a deal. It's probably just fine. And the reason I say this helps is because maybe you can get your passive stacks faster. Yeah, I don't think Blade Roll is that big of a change. And then I think the biggest hit, honestly, is her not being able to dash through allies. I don't know if this means ally creeps, ally champions. I'm just going to assume all allies she can't dash through. That's horrible. And then them adding this tower thing, that doesn't do it. I mean, it's not going to do anything. And then the dash speed going down too, and then ulti. Oh god, man. We're going to see how much this stuff actually hurts Tamira, but honestly, I think Samira's win rates is going to drop a shit ton, dude. This is a really hard nerf. Honestly, this is what I would have expected Kaiser to got, not Samira. This is insane, especially since Samira actually had counter picks like Senna. This is insane. I think the champ might be dead for a while. I might be overreacting, but this looks like a lot of damage taken off early game, dude. And I mean, once you get to 5, I don't know. Once you get to like your max rank Q, you're gonna be doing more damage than you used to. Since you max Q first, like you get it. But then the dash speed going down, I'm pretty sure you can't act faster, so you lose a ton of burst in lane. I don't know, dude. Let's say she has a 49% win rate right now. I think it's gonna drop to 47 or 46. Honestly, I think this might really hurt the champion. On top of that, her ult, she's not gonna, she might be able to pop it multiple times in a team fight, but it's gonna be a lot harder now with an 8-second cooldown on it. Yeah, I don't know, man. This really could hurt the champ. I don't know what her win rate's gonna be. I don't know how good she's gonna be. I think she's gonna be bad though. Like, she might not be worth picking, to be honest, next patch. We'll have to wait and see. There's so many changes here, and Tamira hasn't been out long enough for us to really understand it. But from my experience playing her, this is actually gonna really, really hurt Tamira. Like, I'm predicting her win rate's gonna be about 47 or 46%. I don't know if she'll be 100% dead, but I would rather just play Lucian or Draven. Okay, Skarner, base health and base health growth decreased. All right, yeah, I've been seeing Skarner a lot. He's been really, really strong, especially with the chem tank phase rush. I think it's absolutely absurd. I don't think this addresses his main problems, but I mean, little slap on the wrist for Skarner, I guess. And no, it's not his mom holding his wrist at the supermarket like what they did with Camille. That's actually the most baby shit nerf I've ever seen. Soraka, Q movement speed increase, W base health heal increase. You don't really see Soraka a lot right now because I don't think she works very well with Moonstone, right? Yeah, I never see her. She is going Moonstone Staff of Flowing Water. I think other champions are just using Moonstone better than her. Yeah, I mean, you might see Soraka more. I doubt it, but just play a lane bully into her. She can't fight very well. You just run into her. Oh, with Skarner, just make sure you buy a QSS. I'm sorry I haven't been talking about the counterplay. I wanted to do that, so it's specifically for ADC players, but I'm literally just the worst. But Renekton, also, you can kite him pretty easily. Just make sure you do not get hit by his W, because you'll die, especially if he's pressed the attack. Talon, W cooldown now scales. Bonus damage ratio increased. All right, honestly, this is nice for Talon. His W wasn't where the main source of his damage was. It was just to get to his passive, which does the most damage. But Rake's still getting a buff, especially since he maxes it. That's going to help a lot, I would say. I didn't think Talon was that weak to where they would need to buff him. He's not. He's not that weak. They're just, okay. Yeah, against Talon, make sure that you don't, like, push too much against him because he's just going to come bot. And then even if he comes bot, he might tower dive you. So just try to pick champions that are okay getting tower dove and don't shove the lane too much. Talon's main thing is running bot lane, so you're probably gonna see him more. Tryndamere, base damage increased. I didn't know Tryndamere's been weak in lane. Tryndamere is supposed to be really, really strong in lane, so with this buff, maybe he's gonna be even stronger in lane. The thing is, though, I'm pretty sure, once again, most of the Tryndamere players are Tryndamere one tricks, so you're probably gonna be seeing him the same amount. He's probably just gonna get ahead in more games, so be careful of that. Just try to make sure you're not the person that gets killed by him, because whenever he goes into his ulti, it's pretty much like saying, hey, I'm gonna try to kill one person before I get out. Just make sure you're not the one that dies. I've watched a ton of high elo VODs, and basically all they do is like sacrifice the support to the Tryndamere, which I think is the stupidest thing in the world, but I don't think you should have to trade one person to kill a Tryndamere, but that's just me, man. Varus, W empowered bonus damage based on Q channel time increase. What? So empowered Q damage does more, and the missing health damage scales more. Okay. Honestly, you're probably not going to be seeing much more Varus. I don't think these are too big looking. I mean these are nice buffs. I don't think they're going to change anything. I'm pretty sure Varus is still kind of bad. He just has no mobility in this meta, and his ulti isn't good into like high mobility champs because they just walk away from it once they hit once you hit your first target, they just walk away. He also doesn't have the best matchups. Yeah, I don't see Varus getting picked much more. If you see him, just tell you, like, just pick Tristana, honestly. Tristana dumpsters him. But Varus pretty much loses to lane bullies and champions that outrange him, except I think the only lane bully I would say Varus beats is Draven. But I don't see Varus getting changed too much. The win rate might go up just a tad, maybe to 49% from 48, but I don't think it's going to be huge. They could start running poke Varus, because, yeah, most Varuses are running traditional. These numbers are huge enough to where you might see poke Varus more, but you're gonna have to like wait and see on that, to be honest, because this is only for his W. But then, like, wouldn't you see more high crit builds? Because I'm pretty sure the Q crits once you charge it up all. Yeah, the Q crits once you charge it up all the way. So maybe you would see like a ton of crit. I don't even know, dude. There might be more poke Varus, and you might get caught off guard when you're low health now. Just be careful with that. Just be careful when you're low health and he's charging it. Okay, Veigar, Q cost decreased. Our cooldown decreased later. I mean, yeah, I know I've been playing some Veigar. I can tell you he's really weak. I don't know. I don't see these changes being too impactful. Just whenever you're playing against Veigar, make sure that you don't get hit by his W and make sure you don't get hit by his cage. That's pretty much it. You might not want to play high mobility champions like Vayne or Lucian, but champions with a blink are like way better. Because I know specifically like Rakan gets hard countered by Veigar because I can't move around. But yeah, just try not to play champs with like mobility that is a dash. A blink is so much better, like Ezreal. Okay, item changes. Guinsoo's Rage Blade. I wanted to know also there's no Senna bug fixes, so you can still build Guinsoo's on Senna, and Guinsoo's is getting buffed. Honestly, this buff is kind of minor. I don't see it really being that impactful. I don't see champions who aren't building Guinsoo's right now to suddenly start building Guinsoo's. This is a very minor buff just to help out some Guinsoo's users. It probably won't increase or decrease anyone's pick rate. It might, in combination with like Tamira and Kaiser nerfs, introduce some new ADCs. Specifically, Senna might be getting picked a ton more this patch. Oh, wait, Moonstone's in this patch? Oh, yes, sir. All right, well, they're reducing some of its early healing power. Honestly, this doesn't seem like a lot. I would still say expect to see Moonstone, just maybe not as good early game. Yeah, it's probably just not going to be as good early game. I think the same champions are still going to build it. I think Staff of Flowing Water and Moonstone Renewer are still just an absurdly broken combination, especially if you make it out of lane with like a Seraphine or Sona. Like, I feel like the game is really hard past that point. Yeah, I wouldn't say expect to see more Moonstone or less Moonstone. It's just like a slap on the wrist. Grievous Wound items. Let's go. Wait, this doesn't change Grievous. Dude. They just increase it so it's like easier to fit into your build, so it's not as much of a punishment. Are you serious? Grievous Wound sucks. Honestly, they just need to remove healing. Healing is just such a stupid mechanic, and it's not fun to play against. This is basically just lightening the burden on you to build. It just make Grievous stronger. Make it 80% when they're low, and make it 50% when they're high on HP. Because honestly, I think Reckless said it, and I'm gonna say it too, and I felt the exact same way last season. Grievous doesn't do shit most of the time. It doesn't. If a champion has innate healing in their kit, like Aatrox or Red Kayn, this isn't doing anything. But I mean, thanks, because my teammates are gonna ping me to build it, like they know what they're doing, but whatever. Okay, but still build Mortal Reminder and Chemtech Chainsword whenever you think it would be possible. But these buffs aren't enough to be like, hey, now you should build this item. You should have already been building it, probably. In some games, obviously. Like, when you should be building it, you should have built it. And this extra 5 attack damage or extra 100 health, keep building it the same as you would. Don't overuse it though. Do not overbuy these items because they can just kill your damage output, IMO. Okay, Cosmic Drive. Remove Spell Dance move. I don't even know what this item did. If you have at least that much ability power, gain that ability haste and movement speed based on level. Okay. All right, so you might be seeing more movement speed based mages like Victor, but there's no real like counterplay to them building mage items because Hex Drinker blows. Buff Hex Drinker. Nobody builds Hex Drinker right now. It needs a buff. Okay, Everfrost. Build path. Yep, it's still pretty good. Oh, wait, this is actually even better because you would only have 2 things and then you'd have to build. Yeah, that actually sucks. And now this is a lot better. Yeah, that's a ton better. Glacier. Oh, wait. This is actually a Giga buff. Yo, you're gonna be seeing a lot more Everfrost. That's actually huge, man. Kassadin was building it, right? Oh no, I just see some Kassadins build it, I guess. You're gonna be seeing Everfrost a ton more. Think of set W, except in the middle where the true damage comes for set. That's where the stun is, and then on the sides, it's no stun. Basically, just try to pick champions with mobility into it. But obviously, you're not gonna, yeah. I mean, I honestly could see Everfrost just becoming one of the best mythic items. This is insane. I might be capping because I don't play AP champs all that often, but this is really, really big. If you run a champion that already might be considering building Everfrost, I would say 100% try it, and it honestly probably abuse it. I think this item's actually gonna be broken. Maybe not broken, just really strong. Like I think it's above the rest of the mage mythics now. Jungle camps. Oh my god, they're nerfing jungle. Holy shit. All right, well this kind of hurts every single lane because we all farm jungle camps by the end, and the XP goes down. Wait, this actually really hurts jungle as a role. I mean, I welcome that because I think jungle is just way too strong. I would just say expect less level 3 ganks. Like the timing's probably going to be different. Instead of like having a ward at like 245, you might be able to get a ward with a ward at like 3 minutes. Yeah, that's actually that's a lot actually. This really messes with a bunch of champs' jungle paths. I don't know why you would nerf Krugs specifically, because I think Krugs are by far the least taken camp. But I guess they nerfed everything, right? No, they didn't nerf wolves. I would have nerfed wolves instead of Krugs, but I mean, whatever. I don't know too much about jungle, so that's just what I think. Incoming healing update? Incoming healing only displays for the player on that and their allies. Incoming healing now is a special bar treatment, not different. Okay, dude, just fucking get rid of it. Just get rid of it. In-game shop updates. Okay, quick buy penalty. Yep. Don't care. Clash, quality of life, bug fixes. Okay, we're done. All right, basically for ADCs, I honestly would wait and pick Tamira to like see her win rates and how other people are performing. I think that champ's gonna die. I really do. Kaiser's still gonna be just as strong. Kaiser nerf doesn't hit too hard. You could probably still keep picking her whenever you want. But just if you're picking Kaiser though, be careful of Caitlyn. I think those buffs are actually gonna help her like a decent amount actually. I think Caitlyn actually might be a pick now. She's gonna be more mainstream. Basically, you're gonna be seeing more Caitlyn for sure. IMO. Be careful of the new champs that are getting buffed like Fiora, and honestly this patch isn't too big. A lot of minor buffs and minor nerfs except for Tamira, who just randomly got killed. Jinx is a tad bit better, but that base health thing, I don't know. Her win rate went down with those massive buffs, so maybe it means a lot more than I think, but I think Jinx is still gonna be like pretty okay in lower elo especially. Caitlyn buffs are scary. Varus buffs, I mean, nobody plays Varus even when he's good, but there might be more lethality and crit builds. We're gonna have to wait and see what players do with him. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal, but it might. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. If I do more videos like this in the future, I'm going to be 100% sure that I talk about the counterplay for every single champ that's mentioned, like immediately, because I would like talk about the champ and then move on and then forget. But okay, yeah, I'm done talking. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.